again, everyone. This is Charles Walhingford alongside of StyleCon, and today we're back again with some watch talk, and we're talking about Sinn and Tudor. Actually, Sinn versus Tudor. StyleCon and I were talking about what are some of the best watch brands. StyleCon, a while ago, we had my watch brand challenge, and he had
Philippe
Dufour, and I had Breguet, and we both talked about it. Check those videos out. Very informative, but the reality of it is, Breguet is not. It's not for even the above average. It's probably for above average Joe or Joseph, and then for Philippe Dufour, that's on a whole nother level as being able to acquire. So what about a watch that would be pound for pound? A lot of times we say pound for pound because that fighter, that lightweight fighter is very good, but we know he's not going to be able to beat up that heavyweight. But if that heavyweight was to come down to that lightweight level, he'd be done. So we were talking about the best pound for pound watch brands, and we came up with Tudor and Sinn. StyleCon is going to take the Sinn, I'm going to take Tudor, and we're going to talk about why you should get one of those two. Let's get started. All right, let's talk about why those two would be considered, just period. Now, a lot of times we talk about inflated prices. I truly believe both of those watch brands, aren't inflated at all. Well, not at all, but compared to everybody else, talk about inflated prices or overpricing everything else, I truly believe both of them are not overly inflated. And then talk about just pure design, aesthetics, and also the mechanics, along with the materials used to make those watches. Man, you're online with some of the best watches out there, hands down. We can argue, if you want to argue with us to say Tudor or Sinn's not the best, we'd go after you toe to toe, easy. But what we're going to do, we're going to go toe to toe with each other and talk about why Sinn may be better than Tudor. Let's see what we have. StyleCon, tell me why both of these watches are great watches to have.
Both of them are great to have because Tudor you can get in the Rolex family and you don't have to spend as much money. With the Sinn, you know, it's iconic. It's an understated watch. Most people don't know about the brand. It doesn't get enough recognition.
That's true, because in a big thing, the average Joe doesn't know about both of them. Absolutely. You'll have a person that has a Rolex that doesn't even know about Tudor. A person does not stumble upon Rolex or Tudor. You have to have your horological cap on, thinking cap on. You have to have some true horological street cred to actually find and know what Tudor and Sinn are about.
Most definitely, especially on the Sinn part, because since they aren't highly marketed, you don't see them all over the place at race car shows, magazines. You'd have to be more of an insider to know about them than you do Tudor.
Right. Well, you're talking about Tudor that way. Tell me why you would get a Sinn over top of Tudor rather than what do you think is better? Why do you think Tudor is better?
Well, that's not why
why do you think Sinn is better? Why do you think?
There's no think. It's I know. I mean, this is just basic information. Obviously, the Sinn is so direct to the customers, so you cut out the middleman. Usually, when you want to go buy the other brand, what do you have to do? You have to go to an authorized dealer, and obviously that can inflate the cost. They're basically using the same type of movement, even though Tudor is trying to go to an in-house movement now, which they're going to do with all their watches eventually. But then you get more for the Sinn. You know, you get the tegimented steel, You get the sulfite capsules. I mean, there was a watch Charles and I were looking at when we were at the Watch Buy show. They actually used like oil inside of it, and watch was beautiful, but it was a beast. And I think they said it was rated at 20,000 feet, which is absurd. Why do you need a watch like that? But see, Tudor doesn't do anything like it. There's no sulfite capsules. There's no tetraminute steel. There's no oil in it, so it can go down that far, even though, needless to say, none of us humans are ever going to go 20,000 feet. But it's just, I think you get more for your money.
That is true. I have to agree. Sinn has technology, but no one really can have. They're exclusive technology, especially with that 10-minute steel. If you don't understand what the 10-minute steel is about, if you're going to spend, because even though these watches, far as relatively as luxury watches go, they're on the lower end of cost, but they still are kind of expensive. They're not something you can just shake your stick at, like, I'll go get one tomorrow. You might have to save up for weeks or months to get one, but when you get one, it's worth it, because that 10-minute steel is designed to be harder than your regular stainless steel, meaning your watch will last longer or look nice longer, and that's what it's all about after a while. You know, when you're having those conversations, oh, your watch still looks good, yeah, my Sinn still looks good. But again, I'm not for Sinn, I'm for Tudor. So why do I like Tudor better? Tudor, for me, or as Stalcon says, he knows, I know, Sinn does not have the same iconic watches. They don't have the same, I can't say they're all Tudors are going to be classics, but there already are classic Sinns. I mean, classic Tudors. There's a Tudor Pelagos that's might turn into a classic, especially since they're changing it with the in-house movement and the ETA movement. Just like they are sought after the Daytona with the Zenith movement and the Rolex movement Zenith. I mean Daytonas. Go find, if you try and go find a El Primero Zenith movement Daytona, is going to be much harder to get and more sought after. And I believe that's what can happen with that Tudor Pelagos. But before the Tudor Pelagos, there was the Tudor Monte Carlo. The Tudor Monte Carlo is an absolutely sought after collector's item watch. Sinn does not have that. And then also they have the Submariner. Yes, there is a Tudor Submariner, if you didn't already know. That is an absolute collector's item. Then when we did this research, I found out that these major collectors, these famous collectors, Fabrizio Soto and then Alan Malin, they were on Talking Watches with Hodinkee and what's the gentleman? What's his name?
Ben Clymer?
Ben Clymer, yeah. He was interviewing these guys, and they had Tudors. They had Tudors, and they were bringing out Patek Philippe's and high-level watches, and yet they still had Tudor. I don't know. If you are willing to spend thousands upon thousands on watches, and then you want to spend just a couple thousand, and you choose Tudor, I don't think they're stupid. I don't think that it was an accident. I think that would be the best way to go. Now, Stalcon is right. You do take a hit a little bit for resale value compared to Sinn. But when you want to talk about a possible classic, Tudor, I think, is the way to go.
Well, see, that one I'm not certain of. Since they're going to their in-house movement, and since they're all going to be cost certified now, we'll be able to tell probably next year or the year after that when the numbers are actually published on how many watches they make. Now, if they keep the production low, they might have some resale value in the future. But if they don't, and if they go crazy like Rolex does, and they're making 800,000 to 900,000 watches a year, that's not going to be a classic because it's going to be one of those things that anybody can get. And that's where I think the Sinn can come in, because they have excellent resale value. The movements that are being used by ETA or from ETA are being used in both watches, even though Sinn is starting to move over to the Solita movement, but it's the same movement, it's just a copy of it. So you're saving money on the initial purchase, you're saving money on the back end if you ever wanted to resell it or trade it in. You got something that's a little bit possibly more exclusive. Sinn only makes about 12,000 watches a year, maybe a little more than that. Whereas Tudor at the current time, nobody knows, but if they're going to Rolex, they're going to keep pumping them out. And then once again, it can affect the resale value. But like Charles said, the older stuff that he's talking about, oh yes, it's classic. I mean, there's no doubt about that. You can't take that away. And Sinn doesn't have that. But comparing the new versions of Sinn and the new versions of Tudor, I like the designs better in Tudor, I gotta be honest. You know, I think they're hipper, they got a little funkier vibe to them, you know. I like the looks, where the Sinn, to me, that's like the old man look, you know, sort of like buying the Rolex Datejust, you know. Plain Jane, nothing real fancy.
It's because of that German DNA is really into that. Sinn, if you're not familiar with German watches, they don't like to have many frills on German watches, and it stays with Sinn absolutely. They don't have a lot of frills, and which still makes them, I mean, desirable in case you want to have a real collection with different looks.
With Sinn, the thing is, you can wear that watch today, and if you live to be 100 years old, you can wear it for 100 years. It would never go out of style. With some of the Tudors, you just never know what's going to happen. You know, and this can be in style today. I like the Chrono Heritage Blue. I think that's a really nice watch. But, you know, they brought back a retro look. And sometimes with those retro looks, it's like fashion. Things are in style, they go out of style. But Sinn, I just like it for the price point. You don't have to deal with an authorized dealer. You go direct to the manufacturer. You can save money. You get money on the back end. You have something that you can wear, you know, from now until the day you die. Whereas some of the Tudors, I think it depends upon how you're dressed. That Chrono Heritage Blue wouldn't look good with just anything and everything. You know, the Pelagos you could probably get away with, you know, but some of their other designs you can't.
That's true. That is true with Tudor. It's good and the bad with some of their looks, their newer looks. They won't go with everything, like you said, with that Heritage, not with a suit.
The Fast Rider, which I like, the all blacked out ceramic case.
That's one of my favorites.
I like that, but that wouldn't, to me, be an everyday, like, driver. I mean, you know, you get dressed up a certain way, you might want to throw that on.
So what you're saying, with Sinn, as far as aesthetics go, Sinn is a little bit more flexible. If your collection consisted of less watches, you might want to go with the Sinn. If you have a collection that's larger, where you can change, that you're going to change often, you maybe want to go with the Tudor. Also summarize, if you are more interested in the aspect of resale value, you probably will go with the Sinn. If you're hoping that a watch is going to be possibly someday a classic, you might want to go with Tudor. That's what we're probably picking up right here. Either way, it won't be a mistake. Either one, it won't be a mistake. Either one has great horological significance, especially with the Sinn having all those exclusive technologies, and then Tudor having the big potential of being a classic. Classic meaning it might be more expensive later on down the line. Maybe, we can't guarantee. We're just speculating. But again, either way, probably good watches. So, StyleCon, any parting words for Sinn?
Well, that's the champ. To me, out of anything you want to get, because the movement that's being used, the technology that's being put in it, the workmanship, it's saving the money on both ends. You know, you can't beat it. Because I like the Tudor, but some of those watches don't have a lot of resale value.
Again, either one of these watches would be a good watch to purchase, depending on what your taste is, what your style is, and everything else. Please check out Tudor, check out Sinn, and I would like to thank the tobacco company in Lemoyne, Pennsylvania for allowing us to shoot here. And I always ask the question, how would you spend your money? Honestly, Sinn or Tudor, I wouldn't mind having either one. I may be in a very near future picking up one of the two. Also, don't forget to comment, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to check out the videos with StyleCon's solo videos and such. Well, I'm also in some of his videos. So again, thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next video. StyleCon.
See you in the next one.
All right.